It's no secret that running a business can be crazy stressful. But what if you could use your business as a tool for self care instead of something that drains you? Hello, and welcome to Becoming Burnout Proof, the podcast for women entrepreneurs who want to increase their income and their impact without burning out. I'm your host, Meg Bingham, a certified stress management specialist and marketing strategist, and today's episode is all about leveraging your business as a self care tool. This episode is inspired by a conversation I had with my good friend Amy last week. She invited me on her show, the Digital Magic Podcast, and one thing that came up in our conversation was how when you start a business, you get exposure to the world of personal development in a way that you might not otherwise experience. No matter what type of business you're out there building, I'm sure it's stretched you and challenged you in ways you never would have imagined. I know that's personally true for me. I started my business as a virtual assistant side hustle in 2018 while working full-time as a surgical assistant. In 2019, I left my surgical assisting job to raise my kids and focus on my side gig. The personal growth that's happened between 2018 and today is so dramatic, for lack of a better word. It's hard for me to put into words, actually. And as I sat down to write this episode and reflect on it, I got a little emotional thinking about the impact that my business has had on my life. I've made cherished friends that I talk to every day, even though we've never met in person. I've spoken on stages, which is wild because 18-year-old me flunked out of my college public speaking class because I was so terrified. I've been blessed to provide marketing strategy and support to incredible, powerful women who are building beautiful businesses that are making the world a better place. The confidence and power that comes from learning to understand your strengths, developing new skills, and then using them is a wonderful thing. Building my business has helped me to discover who I am and what I actually want. While the growth we experience as business owners is incredible, it's often the result of persevering through challenges. I know I'm hyping up the highlight reel right now because I believe it's important to notice bright spots and celebrate our progress, but let's be honest, running a business can also stir up tons of stress and anxiety. For me, in 2020 or 2021-ish, I was successful according to what success might look like in the bro marketing world, maybe. I was making good money, working with clients consistently, and I was doing it all working from home. On the outside, it looked really good, but I was taking on any and every client to make that happen, and very few of those clients were actually a good fit. I was primarily handling funnel launches, and while I still do that from time to time, I've since learned that the tedious type of work like that was not allowing me to operate in my true strengths, which are people-related, not task-related. I went from working part-time around my tiny kid's schedule to being overbooked and considering putting the kids back in daycare. Now, let me be very clear. I'm not saying that you shouldn't put your kids in daycare if that's what you want. If that's what works for you, please do it. No shame. Let me be clear on that. I just got to a point where I was completely exhausted. I had a hard time shutting off my work brain and shifting into mom mode. I don't remember a specific moment where I realized that I was dealing with burnout, but I realized that I'd boxed myself into another job that I didn't have control over and that did not actually align with my goals. So I set out to redefine my version of success. Now, while I do set monetary goals because money is a good thing and required to run a business and, just live your life, it's not the only metric I'm using to define success. I've restructured my business in a way that it's now a tool for self-care, not a heavy, exhausting, draining thing. My business nourishes me rather than depletes me, and it's a beautiful thing. If you've been feeling trapped in your business or are feeling like you're creeping toward burnout, or if you're just due for a pulse check, let's talk about ways to transform your business into a tool for self-care. First, recognize that there are different seasons in life. I started my business when my kids were tiny and still taking naps and going to bed super early. They're older now, which sounds like it would make working easier, but that has not been the case for me personally. I was actually able to work more hours when I had nap times and a 7:30 bedtime to work around. Now we've got homeschool and activities and church and community responsibilities that are all very important to us. A big part of using your business as a tool for self-care is ensuring that it adapts to your needs over time. Life changes, and so should the way you work. It's important to honor the season of life that you're in and to give yourself permission to pivot if you find something that isn't working for you anymore. Create a business that evolves with you. Second, work to build emotional resilience and resilience to rejection. Emotional resilience is your ability to adapt and respond to stressors and challenges. You probably already know this, but as an entrepreneur, it's almost guaranteed that you will face rejection, often. I saw a post on Instagram a while back highlighting Kobe Bryant as one of the most successful basketball players of all time. We're a sports family here, so I know some of the sporty things. Kobe won MVP awards, championships, gold medals, and almost 2 decades of All-Star game appearances, to name a few of his accomplishments. But here's the really good part. Kobe also currently holds the record for the most missed shots in NBA history. One of the best players to ever have lived holds the record for most missed shots. I love this so much. It's just proof that if we don't take the shot, we won't make the shot. If he'd held back for fear of missing, he wouldn't have achieved any of those other things. How can we apply this to ourselves? Obviously, take the shots. Don't take rejection personally. Feel your feelings because, of course, rejection is disappointing and it hurts. But let's normalize those experiences. They're going to happen. And if we choose to, we can use them as opportunities for growth. Keep track of your wins and lessons. I have a note page in my planner specifically for this. Wins are easy to write down, right? The things that we're proud of, the things that are working well for us. The rejections sting a little, but once I've felt my feelings, like I said before, I look for the lesson. Most of the time, I don't learn anything profound from a rejection, if I'm being totally honest. But one thing I've learned is that I have the ability to try again. That is the core lesson I am learning from rejection. I always have the ability to try again. And that's a very important thing to know about ourselves. One final thought when it comes to handling rejection. If you take one thing away from this episode, please let it be this. You have to detach your sense of self-worth from your business. Failing in business, whatever that looks like or feels like to you, does not affect your worth. You are more than capable. You are smart. You are strong. Your worth is infinite and unchanging. I also remind my clients often to separate their definition of success in business from their definition of success as a marketer. If you're a life coach, for example, and you are helping your clients transform their lives, you are successful. You're delivering results. Not hitting a sales goal does not mean you're not good at business, because remember what an amazing coach you are. It just means you need marketing support. Coach and marketer are two completely different roles. A third way to turn your business into a tool for self-care is to build resilience to stress. I talk about this often because it's important, but resilience to stress is built in our recovery. Create daily habits that allow you to recover from the stresses of running a business. Daily movement, mindfulness, and gratitude are the top 3 practices I recommend and personally use. Prioritize these things daily, and I promise that your ability to handle anything that comes your way will improve. And you'll see that ripple effect through every area of your life, not just handling things that come up in business. While resilience is critical, it's just one piece of the big picture. Imagine if your business itself, the tasks you're doing in your business, could become a source of support and nourishment for your mental health. Let's explore how to make that a reality. One of the most important things to consider when you are structuring your burnout-proof business is to take a look at your offers. I talk about creating strategic offer suite all the time, but it is just that important. A few thoughts without going too deep and too long on this, okay? If you're currently offering one-to-one services right now, consider offers that allow you to bring in income that's more passive, something that does not require you to be sitting at a desk. This might look like a course or a membership, an ebook, a digital product of any kind. Really, the possibilities are endless. You might consider a group program so you can work with more people without adding tons of hours. Restructuring your one-to-one done-for-you offers as a productized service is another strategy worth considering. For example, in my own business before I crashed and burned, my only offer was done-for-you funnel builds. Now my main offer is a marketing intensive where I work with clients to map out their complete 6-month marketing plan in just 3 hours. My clients are still getting an amazing value, a completely customized plan for business growth based on their lifestyle, strengths, and goals. They're still getting a fully mapped out funnel, but on my end, the delivery is incredibly simple. I get to show up and operate in my people and strategy-related strengths, and have automations, templates, trainings, and referral partners in place to take care of the tedious things I don't enjoy, the things that do drain me. Productizing a one-to-one service like this, where you make something easily repeatable and automated as much as possible, is an amazing way to grow. Structure your productized services around something you love to do that also gets your clients fantastic results, and you're golden. When you get to do work you love, burnout is much less likely. A few final thoughts related to this topic of using your business as a tool for self-care. I've talked a lot about working in your strengths today, and there are tons of resources available to you to help you figure out what they are. A few of my favorites are the Clifton Strengths Finder, Working Genius, Colby A, and Human Design. I'll link to an episode where I talk about a couple of these things in the show notes. Also, don't downplay the importance of doing work you enjoy. I touched on this briefly, but I don't believe that your business has to be your passion, but you should definitely enjoy what you're doing. It gets to be fun. If not, it's time to make some changes. I could go on and on and on about this topic of using your business as a tool for self care. But what I want you to know is that you have control over your life. You get to structure your business in a way that supports work life harmony. Your business can be a tool for self care rather than something heavy hanging overhead. I hope this episode gave you some helpful tips for getting started. Before we go, I do want to remind you that the Work Life Harmony Club is here to help you achieve this, help you use your business as a tool for self care. Something I didn't mention earlier on in the episode that it came to mind right now is the sense of community that my business has brought to me. I love being part of a group of people that have similar goals to me, that are trying to build beautiful lives and harmonious lives, and surrounding myself with people who just get me and get what I'm going through and understand what it's like to be rejected and understand what it means to try to build something in the margins of your day. Has been a very powerful thing. I invite you to take a look at worklifeharmonyclub.com. There's a free trial available, and I would love to see you on the inside. Be well and be kind, and I'll talk to you again soon.